1 on 3, 1 on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Shut up, man. You already know.
All right, man. Have some fun.
Jets on 3, 1, 2, 3. Jets.
It is Jets-Eagles at MetLife Stadium. C.J. Mosley walking into the building just moments ago, followed by Zach Wilson and his offensive line crew. That's what you like to see out of a rookie quarterback, hanging out with the big guys in charge of protecting him, of course. A big challenge for the New York Jets today as they look for their second consecutive victory for the first time in the Robert Saleh era. Welcome to Pregame Central, presented by Uber Eats. I'm Eric Allen with Anthony Becht and Eric Coleman inside the studio. Coming up, we will check in with Ethan Greenberg, who is at MetLife Stadium, plus Ken O'Brien, a former first-round pick for the Jets himself, back in that famous 1983 quarterback draft. What a first round that was. He is at MetLife Stadium, so we're going to be hearing from Kenny O as well. But, fellas, great to see you. It does not feel like December, Anthony. It's a beautiful day. It seems like spring out there.
Yeah, it is a great day to go out there and play football. Obviously, when you go out there in those conditions, sun's out, not a lot of wind, you got a little chill in the air. That's football. That's what guys want to play in. It's a big game. It's a big game for this organization, this team. Obviously, Zach Wilson gets another game under his belt after coming back from injury versus the Texans. And, there's a lot to grow and work off of. I think with this team playing against Philadelphia, you're going against a very good defense. So there'll be some challenges there. It'd be good to get that for your young quarterback in this offense to see what they can do against them.
Eric, speaking of first, we talked about the Jets looking for that consecutive wins for the first time in 2021, but the Jets have never beat the Philadelphia Eagles in their history. The Jets have been around, well, they were the Titans in 1960, but this organization has been around, fellas, for 62 years.
Well, I mean, what better time than now to break that streak, get 2 wins in a row, get your first win against the Eagles, and, put together a great game. I think it's going to take complimentary football like it has in all the Jets wins. They're going to have to control the line of scrimmage, play well on special teams, and just take care of the football. Definitely a game that's within their reach. And if I'm a Jet fan, if I'm a player, I'm very excited about this opportunity because this is a big one. This is at home. You can come out and get some momentum going.
Anthony, the Jets played very well up front last week. You mentioned it before. They rushed for nearly 160 yards in the win over the Texans. The defensive line got back to their dominating ways. 5 sacks in all, 4 sacks coming from the defensive line. But this is a step up in class against the Eagles. You can make the argument that this is a top 5 club in the trenches.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, these guys are really good players up front. They don't bring a lot more than 4 guys at all when you're talking about pass rush. They believe that their defensive line can also stop the run game as well, and that puts more defenders in the back end, which, again, when you have a young quarterback, that's always a tough assignment to find those holes. I think another thing, too, when you look at the Eagles, they've been kind of on a hot streak here prior to last week's game versus the Giants in this same stadium, which was a little off, but they had a ton of turnovers. They really outgained the Giants in that football game. And of course, they're potentially with the change at quarterback today for the Eagles, which we'll probably get into. That'll change the whole dynamic of how you defend this Eagles offense. It's been heavy rush, mostly from the quarterback position. Everything you've kind of gotten yourself prepared for this week kind of may get tweaked a little bit in game, on game day, which is always a tough deal, even though there's a guy that potentially could play that has some experience playing.
So that was the breaking news Saturday night. It was reported that Jalen Hurts will miss this game. He had 3 interceptions against the Giants last week in a game that Eagles let one slip away at MetLife Stadium. That means Gardner Minshew will probably be in the starting lineup, and you can provide a scouting report on Gardner considering a Washington State alum, much like yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gardner Minshew is a very intelligent quarterback. He gets it. He gets the ball out of his hand quick. He is an athletic quarterback, is smaller in stature, but very accurate down the field. Doesn't turn the ball over a lot, and he's very streaky. So it's going to be important for the Jets to get pressure on him up front, down the middle, like they have been all season. Quinnen Williams, Franklin Myers, they're going to have to be very effective early, getting pressure in his face, causing some errant throws, and giving the defensive back some opportunities. opportunities.
Another thing, too, just a few things about him, just watching him play over a couple of years and covering him in college, he's very confident. He is not going to shy down from this opportunity. He'll be aggressive in these situations. Doesn't turn the ball over much. 9 starts in 2020 with Jacksonville, 16-5 touchdown interception ratio. But over those 4 games, he had over 275 yards passing. He'll be prepared. He's very smart. He may come off as a little strange dude when he enters the game and the mustache and all the different looks that he has.
He's always got a different look.
He does, but he is definitely, he'll be dialed in. But the one thing is he kind of tends to stay in that pocket and wait a little bit. 27 sacks through just 9 games last year. That's a lot for a guy that's, going to potentially be that guy today. So I think the biggest thing is, attack this kid. Make that process of that time he has, shrink that down. I think you got a big opportunity versus him.
Well, Anthony, I think it's very important for the Jets as well to stop that run.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, 200 yards rushing last week for the Eagles. They've been running the ball effectively, and the Jets have to make them one-dimensional. You look at the games where the Jets win, they dominate the run game. They dominate that line of scrimmage. They run it well on offense, and they stop the run on defense. So I think if you stop that run, limit Gardner Minshew, make him one-dimensional, he's going to be in that pocket. Right. Give your pass rushers an opportunity to get to him. Give yourself a shot.
Jets players have an opportunity to showcase causes important to them as part of the NFL's My Cause, My Cleats campaign. So you are seeing players out there in pregame warm-ups wear a number of different shoes. Participating players will take the field here in Week 13 wearing customized cleats that highlight their causes and organizations. Nice job by the Jets. Nice job by the NFL, Anthony.
I love it. I think it's great. There's always been fines in the past about different things, but for this reason, has been awesome. NFL has really kind of amped this up a little bit, and players love it as well. I think it's just a great tribute to those organizations and foundations that, number one, those players are connected to, or maybe theirs, or just ones they've dealt with around their cities or wherever they play in.
Yeah, it's great. It starts the conversation. What are those shoes? Why are you wearing these cleats?
Doubt.
You get to highlight those organizations, some great causes, and that's what the NFL is about. So
yeah, and there are a lot of good people in the National Football League. I think we live in a world today that highlights and sensationalizes everything that's happening negatively out there. There are a lot of good people, not just players. People think of these guys as robots. They used to think about you guys as robots, but you went out there in the community. You continue to do that, and the Jets have a number of players, and the Jaguars are going to have a number of players out there showcasing their causes today. We applaud all these guys. Uber Eats, the official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL, is delivering game day deals all season. Order now with your Uber Eats app. Eric Coleman's getting hungry. I see him getting the app out right now. Let's get to MetLife Stadium and bring in Ethan Greenberg. Greens, what's the word with the Jets at wide receiver today?
The big question here is, will Corey Davis will or will not play? And so far, all indications seem that he will play. I'm just guessing here because if we think about last Saturday, we thought he was going to play, and then we got the email of the updated injury report where he went from questionable to doubtful. We didn't get that email yesterday, and Corey Davis was a limited participant in Friday's practice after not practicing both Wednesday and Thursday with that groin injury. So all indications so far seem that Corey Davis will be in the lineup. And, of course, this will be Denzel Mims' first game back after he missed 4 games on the COVID list, EA.
And just for kicks, what's going on with the Jets at kicker today?
Just for kicks, I like that. So Robert Saleh earlier this week said that the Jets would have a kicking competition and may the best man win. Well, the best man was Alex Kessman, who joined the Jets practice squad November 23rd. The team released Matt Amendola, who's been the Jets kicker since July. He won the preseason competition, and he's been the kicker up to this point. And Kessman, a couple things. He signed with the Chargers as an undrafted free agent out of Pitt, where he's third in school history with 341 points. He has pretty good numbers in school for the Pitt Panthers. But the one number that stands out, EA, he set an NCAA record for field goal makes in a season with 12 and really percentage above 66% from further than 50 yards. So we'll see how it translates here in his first game in the NFL in a couple hours.
Well, he's got to be feeling pretty good since Pitt won the ACC last night, trouncing Wake Forest. Amendola, 13-19 this year on field goal attempts. The big thing was 2 of 8 on attempts 40 yards or longer. Real quickly, one of last week's heroes is up again this week, isn't he?
One of you got to remind me who we're talking about here.
Austin Walter. I threw a curveball at you.
Yes. Walter is back, and so is Ronnie Blair, who had his first sack since 2019 last week against the Texans. With Mike White on the COVID list, the Jets get a roster exemption, so they call up Walter as one of their call-ups. They also call up Dan Brown, given the tight end injuries. And the Dan Brown situation is one that I think we should note, because the Jets traded him to Kansas City for Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who's starting for the Jets at right guard the past 2 games. And then Dan Brown gets released by the Chiefs. He comes back to the Jets practice squad. He's called up for today's game against the Eagles. And then your point, Austin Walter, we'll see what he can do in his second game with the Jets. He was pretty electrifying, although just 38 yards against the Texans, but it's a great story, and we'll see what he can do today along with Ronnie Blair and Dan Brown.
Great stuff. We're going to check in with you here in a little bit. It's a busy day here at MetLife Stadium. We're all continuing to deal with COVID daily. For more on a special athlete and her fight with COVID, here's Chuck Lott.
Thanks a lot, guys. Chuck Lott out here in MetLife Stadium today on the Green Room patio. Now, Atlantic Health System has created the first of its kind sports cardiology program designed to meet the specific needs of athletes 12 years and older. Joining us today, I have Dr. Matthew Martinez. He's one of the leaders of the Atlantic Health System sports cardiology program, and one of his former patients, Priscilla Frederick Loomis, a 2016 Olympian representing Antigua and Barbuda. Dr. Martinez, go ahead and tell us about the program and why it's so special.
So first, let me say thanks for having us. We're really excited about this program. We've been doing it for almost a decade, where we take care of high school, collegiate, professional, and some Olympic athletes, as well as those recreational athletes who are looking to continue to compete well beyond the high school and college age. And what we do is we're taking care of athletes who think they may be at risk. They're also taking care of athletes who may actually be at risk. They have a known condition, and then we help assess what their risk is and help come up with a plan that helps serve the athlete and make sure that they're safe to continue to compete.
Okay, now, and that really is, I believe, first of its kind. So that's great for Atlantic Health Systems coming up with that program.
Yeah, it's exciting, and our chief really is somewhat of a visionary in things like this. There are more around the country since we started, and there are clearly some experts that are also taking care of athletes beyond here. But this was very unique at the time, and we continue to be one of the largest in the country.
Fantastic. And Priscilla, Dr. Martinez was actually your third opinion.
Yes.
So can you tell us about how you got there, and more importantly, why that's important to seek that opinion, that extra opinion?
Yeah, so I had contracted COVID-19 in January before the Olympic Games, and so afterwards I was having really bad chest pains and heart complications, and so I had gotten one virtual doctor and his opinion, and then I actually got to see another, cardiac specialist, but both of them, after all the tests that I had run, didn't clear me and said that my heart, didn't look good after all the results. And so that was really kind of like a bummer. And so for me as an athlete, we go through so many things with our body, mental, physical, all that kind of stuff. And so, it's kind of like the old adage, third time's a charm. So, somebody had reached out and said, hey, we know this really great specialist who deals specifically with athletes. And so we really want to make sure that you get the final say, with him. And so both doctors that I had seen first and foremost said, yeah, he says the final word, whatever he says goes. He's the man. And so I drove up and got to, meet Dr. Martinez, and he cleared me. So I was like, yes, boo, I'm all for it. So I thank, him and, his entire team for taking a look and, giving that extra advice of what saved my career. Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Martinez, now, fantastic story, and I urge all of you to go home and check out Priscilla's story as well. But tell the athletes at home why this might be important.
So it's important because there are changes that that occur with athletes that are normal, physiologic, accepted norms for athletes who do things that most of us can't do. But they overlap with the findings of an abnormal change that can put an individual at risk. And that's really what happened here. What we found was that because Priscilla can do things most of us can't do, her heart adapts to be able to handle that, and it looked abnormal. But when you put it all together, this was just a normal adaptation that didn't really put it at risk at all.
Okay, well, I think that's a fantastic end to this spot right here. Thanks a lot, guys. We're going to throw it back up to the studio.
You're watching Pregame Central presented by Uber Eats. Let's go back to MetLife Stadium right now because we're going to bring in a very special guest. That is the number 24 overall selection in the 1983 NFL Draft, Ken O'Brien. Ken, how special is it for you to be back? I know it's a different venue, but this certainly is a homecoming.
It's awesome to get back and awesome to be able to come to a game and to see the new facility. Everything's in the right direction. It's been a lot of fun, and all the people want to get it going the right way, and Coach Saleh has the program going that way. I'm looking forward to the whole day today.
You said everything is going in the right direction. What makes you feel positive about the green and white right now?
I think the head coach is a solid guy. I don't know him. It's just from what I've read and watched him over the years from when he was the D coordinator and when he got here. And he seems to have a really good head on his shoulders and a plan. And everything starts at the top and works down. So I think they're in the right direction. You got to get guys healthy. It's hard to get guys hurt for the year and miss them, especially with a young quarterback. But I think Zach's going to be phenomenal, and it takes some time. But all the pieces have to come together, and I think that I think they're getting there. I think they're getting there, and they're getting better every week.
We could talk to you for hours. So much to get to. Let's go back to '83. At that time, how different was the NFL draft? Because I don't know if some people were all too familiar with Cal Davis.
You guys probably weren't even born then when that draft took place, so it hurts. But yeah, totally different. There was no cell phones, right? The internet was just coming on, and that was when it was just a real. All the nuts were over there hooting and hollering, and that was all the attention it got. And now it's a 3-day event. They travel around the country for it. The game's just grown and grown and grown, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I love watching it every week, and I love coming back rooting for the Jets and rooting for them out in California.
Do you have a favorite memory as a Jet? You were the first quarterback to pass for more than 400 yards in a game and post a perfect passer rating. That came against Seattle, of course. Or how about that classic with Dan Marino in 1986 when you guys combined for 927 yards and 10 touchdowns?
Yeah, that was, I would much rather, like everybody, when you're old, I'd much rather play now than when I was, now I'm 60, so I can't be playing now. But it's a different game. It's just so much more exciting to watch for a quarterback. They're spreading it out, and you're not getting hit, right? They don't hit the way they used to hit or allow you to. So it's, I think it's a great game now. I think it puts on a great show, and no matter which one you watch, they're always good. But what I remember most is having a chance. I was a Jet fan growing up, and when I first had the chance to meet Joe Namath and became friends with Joe, I'll never forget that. And then all the guys that you play with, as you guys know, and you meet them all the old teammates, from Freeman, Wesley, Altoon, it goes on and on and on and on. Bill Piquel, Kyle Clifton. I just met Eric McMillan's here for the day, so I had a blast talking to him, and it's almost like we're 21 again, but we're not. But we think we are. So it's a blast. It's just fun to be back and be a part of it.
Ken, Anthony Becht here, big fan. Great to have you on the show. Listen, give us some of your go back in time comparable to Zach Wilson. You're drafted in the first round. You get your first opportunity in '84. You go 1-4, right? And then all of a sudden, after that, you bounce back in a huge way. 11 wins for the organization. What was key for you that you saw in your first couple games the year before that you worked on or you did that got you over the hump so quickly early in your career?
Well, thanks, Anthony. Nice meeting you. I think it was a different world. Now the quarterbacks, it's from a young age, you're exposed to so much more. So when they come in, they want you to play right away. And when I was there was a veteran team. Richard Todd was here and was a great player and a friend. But we had a really, really good defense, with Klecko and Gastineau and Buttle and blah, blah, blah. I can go down the line, but they were really, really good. So I just didn't have to screw it up. And they had a lot of patience with me. And on offense, when you could hand the ball to Freeman and he could do so many things, it was a tight end. Even though we had great wide receivers in Allen and Wesley, Joe Walton was a ex-tight end, and he ran a tight end-centric offense. That's why Mickey Schuler had, caught 100 balls. And if you have to do it again, Mickey's great, but I would give 100 balls to Wesley and Al before I would probably give 100 to Mickey. He wouldn't want to hear that, but it's just a different game, and it allowed me the time to learn everything, and I was never overwhelmed by it. Fortunately, I could throw and I could think. I could count to 2 usually, so I got by. I had great offensive line, and as you know, everything's about team. And if everybody gets together and has each other's back, there's no finger point. You're all kind of you look forward to being with each other every day. And as long as you have that, you're going in the right direction. And we were able to do that and stay healthy most of the time. Unfortunately, when it got in the playoffs a couple times, we had guys banged up and get hurt. So that slowed us down. But I hear Fuzzy's here. I hear Gastineau's here today. So I'll be looking for him to give him a hard time shortly.
How about that? Hey, listen, we really enjoyed catching up with you. It's a special treat. We'd love to have you on the podcast coming up and really talk expansively about some of these subjects. But I'll tell you what, you passed for more than 25,000 yards in your career, but the ball security, you led the NFL in interception rate in 85, 87, and 88. So that's something to take away here. And today comes full circle for you because, of course, you started your career with the Jets, but you ended it with the Philadelphia Eagles in 1993, playing 5 games, appearing in 5 games. And finally, you said you're 60 years old. Well, you look great, brother.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope those interception years weren't years I led the league in them, but the other way would be better. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's fun Kenny, it was the lowest interception rate. Lowest interception rate.
Thank you. I'm just teasing. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great day today, and anytime with the podcast, let me know. I'd love to join you.
Thanks, buddy. Enjoy it.
Okay, thank you.
That's Jets great, Ken O'Brien. You guys alums, it's always cool when we get an opportunity to talk to fellas who suited up like you guys did. And he's such a quality individual, and he held such a prominent position inside this organization for a long time.
Yeah, that's one of the great things I love about the Jets organization. They keep the former players involved, and it's great for guys like me and Anthony to meet some of these older guys who were here before, and they laid the pathway down for us. And, Ken O'Brien, a legend. He talked about Freeman McNeil, Wesley Walker, Gastineau. All these guys are great players in the NFL, played a huge role in the history of the game, and it's great to be able to watch the game with them, go hang out with them. So shout out to the organization for keeping everyone involved.
Yeah, so hoping Zach Wilson and down the line, somebody will be sitting in these seats here in the BetMGM studio and talking to him about his long career with the green and white as well. He's getting warmed up, second consecutive start after missing 4 games with a PCL sprain. We've unloaded today. We got to go through things very quickly. Let's get to our matchups to watch and start with Eric. We started the show with the curveball because no Jalen Hurts.
Right. You talk about the Eagles and their running game. Jalen Hurts is a big part of that. Now Gardner Minshew is running the show. So I'm going to go Quincy Williams versus Gardner Minshew. Going to be a big matchup. Quincy, sideline to sideline, is going to have a big game in order for the Jets defense to have success.
There's Minshew. Career numbers: 497 yards on the ground, 5.2 yards a carry, 37 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 7 and 13 as a starter. We might see the Eagles drop back a lot more with him at quarterback because Jalen Hurts, he is the #1 rusher on the NFL's leading ground attack. So let's get to you, Anthony.
Yeah, listen, it's going to start inside for this offensive line, going against Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, and then, of course, AVT, McGovern, and the Doctor. I mean, this is going to be a matchup, clearly, that these two players on the Eagles defense have to get blocked up every single snap, because if it's not, it's going to be a long day. So it's a full 4-quarter battle. These guys know it. I think it's going to be great for them to kind of set the standard of where they want to be. These are the best kind of 1-2 punch in the NFL, in my opinion, and it's going to be a great contest today for those 3 interior linemen.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets' most electrifying playmaker. That, of course, is rookie Elijah Moore. And I think he's going to see a lot out of Darius Slay today. Oh, they really threw a curve right there. Darius Slay today. Slay, 3 career interceptions, guys. He's been in the end zone 3 times this year. 3 touchdowns for a cornerback.
Playmaker.
That's unheard of. Conversely, Elijah Moore, he's been terrific of late. 37 catches. He's averaging 12.5 yards a grab and 4 touchdowns on the year. Make sure you tune in to Jets Overtime presented by Nissan after the game. SNY will have you covered today with both their pre- and post-game shows. And Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is airing here in 5 minutes on CBS. Let's hear more from the Jets head coach right now. So before the game, you run the steps. Everybody knows that by now. Have you always done that, going back to your start in coaching?
Yeah, I've been doing it since I was a GA at Michigan State, and just feel like I got to get a workout in and just kind of burn off some steam. And then now as a head coach, it's really as you go through there, it's just a way to calm my mind to kind of go through every situation that can pop up. What do I want to do on 4th down when we're in these areas? Do we want to go for it? Whatever it might be. Do we want to fake in these situations? But it's probably the calmest point where I can do that.
We're watching Pregame Central presented by Uber Eats. As we get into All In or Not today, we're taking a look at MetLife Stadium. The guys warming up. Here is the latest leaderboard as we've reached December.
Oh man,
Rising.
I'm below 500.
Anthony and Eric game under 500. Ethan Green's there at MetLife Stadium, 2-9 so far this year. Hey, it's been that kind of year, but you might be mathematically still alive if you go on a 6-game run. I don't know, but Ethan, I took Elijah Moore in my matchup to watch. You have Elijah Moore will have more receiving yards than Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I hate to say this. I'm going to go not today on this one. I think, and I said this not knowing who the quarterback was going to be for the Eagles, but you kind of referenced it. Jalen Hurts is a predominant rushing threat for the Eagles attack, which leads the NFL. And if Minshew drops back more than Jalen Hurts does or would, well, then I think he's going to look for Devontae Smith, who's had a great year for the Philadelphia Eagles. And if, to your point, Darius Slay does see a lot of Elijah Moore, or vice versa, I'm going to go not today. But also on a sub note here, the last 2 times at home that I've gone not today in a situation like this that doesn't behoove the Jets have won those games against Tennessee and Cincinnati. So might as well make it a 3-pack. I'm going to go not today.
All right, good stuff. I'll take that. Anthony, the Philadelphia Eagles have rushed for more than 200 yards in 3 consecutive games. They're trying to be the first Philadelphia team to reach 200 yards in 4 consecutive games since 1949. So we got to go right there. The Eagles will rush for 200 yards today.
Gardner Minshew can move his legs around a little bit. I just don't think it's happened. I'm saying not today. I think this defense is going to take on this challenge up front. They feel good about how they played, last week's game. And I think they're going to come up big. Listen, Myles Garrett is going to be the guy today. He is a very, very good back. He's going to get a ton of touches. There's a possibility that Boston Scott may not play because of illness today, non-COVID illness. And if he doesn't, it's a one-man show. Expect his carries to go up. And I'm telling you, he is an explosive back. He can get to 200 yards, and I just think it's tough for one guy. So I feel like this is a solid win for me early on. I'm going to call it real early and get myself back to 500.
Okay, E. Coles, I don't have this in front of me, but let's get that graphic up right now. What is your all in or not today? Oh, here we go. The Jets will have 25-plus rush attempts versus the Eagles. You saw the rush attempts go up last week. This is something Anthony's been pounding the table on every week. You need to have those rush attempts to win in the NFL.
Absolutely. I'm all in on this one. I think the coaches have been listening to Anthony with his stats on successful teams running the football. And the Jets, 157 yards on the ground last week in a win. That's the key to the success. Run the football well, play great defense, let your quarterback manage the offense. All in on this one. I believe if the Jets are going to win, they're going to have to rush it for 25-plus yards.
So Anthony,
attempts.
Okay. So Anthony got helped out on his.
Hey,
I'm gonna get hurt on mine because this was originally Zach Wilson will have more passing yards than Jalen Hurts. Yes, he will. Jalen Hurts is not playing, but obviously this has been changed to Gardner Minshew is a starting quarterback. I'm going to have to keep it yes.
Okay.
I'm going to have to keep it yes all in, even though if I knew Minshew was a starting quarterback, I would have said not today. But
So,
You can't go
so
that
look,
route.
yeah.
You can't say that.
Yeah, you going both ways.
Is this guy serious? Come on.
that's fine.
You cannot say that.
So when Zach out throws him, you're going to say, yeah, I told you. And then if he doesn't, you say,
Typical.
That's fine. Okay, so fans, you had your chance to get your voice heard. The Jets will have at least 2 takeaways against the Eagles. Oh, Jets fans say not today. Well, that's interesting. Let's go back to MetLife Stadium for the latest word on game day inactives. Ethan, take it away.
All right, so the good news for the Jets, Corey Davis officially active, and the inactives are as follows. Running back LaMichael Pirine, offensive lineman Isaiah Williams, tight end Trayvon Wesco, defensive end Tim Ward, defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, safety Jared Wilson, and cornerback Rashad Wildgoose. Those are today's inactives. So like I said, guys, Corey Davis officially in the lineup for Jets-Eagles.
Good stuff, Ethan. We'll check in with you for Jets overtime following this one. Fellas, a beautiful day. I think the Jets have a great opportunity for the second consecutive win, but they will be facing a desperate Philadelphia team who is going to have a changed look with Gardner Minshew at quarterback.
Look, Eagles are playing for something here, man. They kind of feel like they're in that last spot of the playoff mix if they can win this game today. This is a monster game for them, and the environment's not going to be much different. They're playing back-to-back games in this stadium, so Jets are going to have to give their best effort. We've seen it across the league. The parity is there. Whoever comes out, plays, doesn't make mistakes, will win the football game. It is a great opportunity for the Jets today.
Yeah, and we're looking at John Franklin Myers. He's probably watching us right now on his phone right there. But a dominating day from him last week, 2 sacks and 1 interception. But the Jets' defensive line, they're going against one of the best offensive lines in football.
Yeah, we're going to have to hear a lot of John Franklin Myers and Quinnen Williams today going against Jason Kelsey, probably one of the most athletic and dominant centers in the game right now. So they're going to have a big challenge on their hands. But this game will be won in the trenches, running the ball, stopping the run, controlling that line of scrimmage, getting pressure on the quarterback. That's where the game's going to be won. So excited about that matchup.
All right, as we watch C.J. Mosley, enjoy your afternoon. But if you are viewing locally, head over to CBS 2 for Jets Game Day. We will be back for Jets Overtime.